Well, Angle is a specialist medical diagnostic company with pioneering products in cancer diagnostics and fetal health. It's had a very busy month, in fact since the beginning of 2015, and we're going to hear more about this now from the company's Chief Executive, Andrew Newland. Now, Andrew, if you were to describe the company's unique selling point, is it the parsotic system in the detection of ovarian cancer?
Well, it certainly is the parsotic system. The ovarian cancer detection is one of the key applications, which we've just announced some very strong patient data. There's other applications as well, but absolutely ovarian cancer is a big opportunity.
So what makes the parsotic system better than what is already available on the market?
Yeah, so the parsotic system is designed in order to capture cancer cells from patient blood. And the importance of that is it supports cancer treatment, and in particular in ovarian cancer, up until now it's been pretty much impossible to do that. The Medical University of Vienna has just announced some very good results with our system.
So in addition to that establishment, which other ambassadors do you have for the system?
Well, we've got multiple cancer centres working with our system. And we've got, for example, just down the road from here, we've got Bart's Cancer Institute working in prostate cancer. Right the other side of the United States, we've got the University of Southern California Norris Comprehensive Cancer Centre, and they're working in metastatic breast cancer. And we've also got Cancer Research UK in Manchester, working on colorectal cancer and pancreatic cancer. So there's a range of different cancer types coming through. But we're particularly excited about ovarian cancer.
So you have the backing of many ambassadors, but do you have the backing of partners, distributors and consumers?
Well, consumers are certainly are backing this, because an ovarian cancer patient has only got a very small chance of living if they're diagnosed late. Unfortunately, a late stage diagnosis, which is often the case in ovarian cancer, they've only got 3.5% chance of surviving for 5 years. But if you can do an early diagnosis, a stage 1 cancer patient, they've got a 90% chance of living for 5 years. So there's absolutely no question that the patients want this. They want the opportunity to be diagnosed earlier, and they have a better outcome. No question at all.
And this is what the parsotic system does?
Yes. So what Medical University of Vienna have found with the groundbreaking results that they've just had, 90% of the ovarian cancer patients can be detected with our system. And that is the best that's ever been done before is 24.5%. So massive improvement.
So are we talking about trials at this stage? When are you going to go into the commercial realms with parsotics?
Yes, well, we're moving. This patient study that's just been announced has moved us into the clinical area. We need to do a clinical study. It will take us probably about 18 months, 100 or 200 ovarian cancer patients throughout Europe, possibly the United States, to show that this technique will be successful in identifying those that have ovarian cancer. And it is phenomenally important. In the United States, every year 200,000 women have operations because they've got abnormal pelvic masses, basically a growth that needs to be cut out. And unfortunately, 22,000 out of those, it's about 10%, will have ovarian cancer, but they don't know which ones, and so they can't be given the proper care and the proper surgery that they need.
So you've brought up the United States there. I do know that you are awaiting FDA approval for this system. Is it imminent?
Well, we're working on it. We started in the end of March last year with an application to the FDA. Bear in mind that there is no company in the world that has an authorization for harvesting cancer cells from the patient blood for analysis, and that's what we're going for. We believe we're not aware of any competitors who are also doing this, so we're quite a long way ahead. Every day that goes past, we get further ahead. We're in a constructive dialogue with the FDA, and obviously because it's a very novel approach, that they're raising a number of questions. We're working on those questions. We're making strong progress, so we're hoping to see a successful outcome later this year.
So how big is the market, and what is your potential market share of that market?
Yes, so the market itself is estimated, if you take into account all the cancer types, as up to £8 billion per year. So it's a huge market. In terms of the share of that market, well, quite frankly, we could have a relatively small share of the market and do extremely well. Nevertheless, it appears, and based on the reports of our key opinion leaders, the big cancer centres, that we have a number of very strong competitive advantages over the other systems being developed. So we should get a good share.
Even so, it appears to me that you are going to be going into a very cash-hungry phase of your development. Are you well funded? Can you continue with this amazing progress?
Well, that's a great question. Fortunately, we have a very smart strategy to avoid being in a very large cash burn situation. This is not like a new cancer drug, which does cost millions and millions, hundreds of millions of pounds. This is actually relatively self-contained spend, and the reason for that is we work with the cancer centres on the development of the clinical applications, and they do most of the heavy lifting in terms of costs. And we've got a very clever way to go to market, which is to work with the big established medical technology companies that already have systems in the hospital pathology lab. So our approach with Parsortix is we can capture the cancer cells and harvest them from the patient blood for analysis, but we're not going to reinvent the wheel with the analytical platforms. Instead, we're offering them the opportunity to use our system as a front end for their systems, generating more revenues for them and actually helping us get to market. So that will help with the costs on that. So it's a very sensible cost approach.
So finally, has that clever strategy, is it evidenced in your most recent interims?
Well, very much so, because the interims have got a completely different flavour to them. We've reorientated the company, totally refocused onto the medtech area. We've had a successful consulting business, but that's due to complete very soon at the end of March. That will end up with a reclassification of Angle from support services and into the healthcare sector. So really these interims mark transformational time for Angle as we move into the clinical phase.
Andrew Newland, Chief Executive of Angle. We look forward to hearing updates on that transformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah.